The cost of living in Costa Rica can be very affordable depending on your lifestyle. The most expensive part of your cost of living might be how or where you choose to live in Costa Rica. Owning a home in Costa Rica can be surprisingly very affordable. But I think many people believe that owning a home or property in Costa Rica is just too far out their reach. However, today I'm going to show you some of what's possible simply by keeping your eyes open and waiting for the right opportunity.
Welcome to another glorious day in Costa Rica.
Absolutely. It's another beautiful day, and today, boy, do we have some amazing things to share with you. In your quest of coming to Costa Rica, at some point in time, you're going to be looking for property. You may already be looking for property in Costa Rica. However, if you rely solely on the internet or the advice of a realtor, you could easily spend way too much money on a piece of property. What we've discovered is if you come to Costa Rica, take time to speak with the locals, look around for yourself. There are thousands of properties for sale that are not listed on a website. Not that some of those listed on the website are not good, because you will find some of these really small websites. They're not professional at all, but they have some great deals on them. So the point is, if you take your time to be here, talk to the locals, look around on your own, use some of the resources that we're going to share with you today, it could help you in your search of finding the perfect piece of property in Costa Rica.
Right. And so today we're just going to give you a little taste of what we've found on one of the websites, just for the purpose of demonstrating to you the differences in prices, like comparing apples to apples, and the different prices, that if you don't search and look around, you may miss out on a real gem.
One of the things that we discovered, because we didn't look a whole lot before we came, however, when we came here, simply by being here, talking with different people, we found lots of websites that we never saw before, and that's simply because of how Google works. We're in the area and we found these really small websites that just don't show up when you're in the United States.
Right, so we're going to share some of those with you. Now, we're not vouching for these properties at all. It's only for demonstration purposes. We're not realtors. We're just wanting you to see how important it is to shop around.
How important it is that you take your time and not get in a hurry so that you can find the right property at the right price. So make sure that you go into the description below. Download the PDF. The PDF is loaded with resources that we use, and we often find these great fire sales, these motivated sellers, because too many times we have seen a piece of property and it's like, wow, if we didn't already know exactly where we're going, we often say, somebody needs to swoop that up. Yes. That is like unbelievable deal. I saw one today I'm going to share with you that I absolutely love, that I wish I could buy.
All right. So we're going to share some of those in the newsletters, as we see them, just because we get so excited, we know where we're saving for the property that we're going to buy, but we're still looking around just to see what else is out there.
That's right. So make sure that you download that PDF, and that will get you on our newsletter so that we can share with you from time to time these motivated sellers, these fire sales, these unbelievable deals. So before we get started, real quick announcement. Because of the amazing response and all of the engagement we've got from our last video that premiered on Sunday, we've decided and realized that we need to begin premiering on Sundays, because there's so many people available to ask questions, and we've got more time to answer those questions. So this Sunday, we're going to premiere, and we'll begin premiering every Sunday. Hopefully, as long as the unexpected doesn't happen, we're going to try to always premiere on Sundays at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So look forward to another video this Sunday, and we're excited to share with you on that. Let's go ahead and get started, and we'll go to my computer, and we'll take a look at what's available. Keep in mind, at the moment, this is a buyer's market. I'm going to do my best to do an apples to apples comparison on some of these properties, but realize that in Costa Rica, the prices of nearly identical properties can vary greatly depending on the realtor, if it's a buy, owner, seller, and much more. So let's take a look at a couple of mountain homes for sale. This first house is located in Rivers of Pere-Celedon. It's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, typical Tico style home on approximately 1 acre. In this first picture, we can see the living room and we can see how a typical Tico style house is constructed. Normally in the very front of the house is where their first bedroom's at. Their second bedroom is behind it, and it's divided by a common bathroom in the middle. In the next image, we can actually see the first bedroom, and like many places for sale, there's not hardly any images in here. He does show in this next image a little piece of the property and another piece of property where there's some farming already done, and this is for sale. So if you want to be self-sufficient, you're all set up to start gardening if that's what you enjoy doing. Keep in mind that this house is not furnished, but the seller does want $156,500 for it. He does say any reasonable offers will be considered. Now, while you might be thinking, hey, well, this is a pretty good price, or maybe you're thinking this is crazy, on closer inspection of this apple, you'll discover that it's riddled with worms because it's right in a family Tico environment, which is what they're used to, but you probably are not. What you'll discover by being here is that the neighbor on the right has 15 dogs that are barking all the time, and so you're not going to get the peace and tranquility you might be looking for. However, it indeed will be safe because of all those dogs, you'll know if anyone's coming around. So let's take a look at another place that will surprisingly show you the difference on what you can get for about $150,000. This next home is located in Tinamaste of Pere-Celedon, a highly sought after and wonderful place. This is a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, and approximately a little more than 3/4 of an acre. So it's fairly the same size as the first house we saw. Now this is a quaint little place on top of a hill. It's got a beautiful place there in the back where you can sit out for viewing, and looks like it possibly has some storage underneath the back porch. We can see a better view of the back porch, or an up-close view, and then we go inside where we can actually see the kitchen. And the kitchen here is not typical at all, because for most typical Costa Rican kitchens, there are no cabinets underneath the sink, and this does have a cabinets, and it does have an island counter with a stove top, which is really handy. This next picture gives us an up-close look of that kitchen. And then if we look to the right, it looks like that is where the bathroom is at. And so we have a little bathroom there. And then in the next photo, we have a look of the island along with the dining area. And then we have another angle of that dining area, which looks really nifty. The only problem I might see with this setup is there's not a dedicated place for the refrigerator in this small kitchen. Now we have a better look at the living room, and an up-close view of that living room, and then we have a view of that living room looking out onto the sliding porch. We have the first bedroom. It's important to notice there are some built-in closets here, which many houses in Costa Rica just simply don't have any type of closet space. Then you have the other bedroom. Now, taking a look at this, the description says that this is a very quiet location with many birds, including toucans, lapas, parrots, and other exotic species, as well as the occasional howler monkey. And remember, in that other house, unfortunately, the only thing you'll hear howling over there is 15 dogs. Now, the owner is only asking $116,000 for this beautiful, quaint place in Tinamaste on a little more than 3/4 of an acre. So if we take a look at that and we compare apples to apples, you got the opportunity of paying $156,500 to listen to howling dogs and that wildlife, or $116,000 for this really quaint place in Tinamaste. As you can see, just a little bit of research and waiting for the right opportunity, you'll be amazed at what you can get for your money. But wait, for even less money, let's look at a fully furnished 3-bedroom, 2-bath beachfront home with a swimming pool on 1/3 of an acre. We'll breeze through the photos real quick just so you can see what this place looks like, and we can look at another gem. As you can see, this is a 2-story home with a fence in the front yard. They have, of course, a nice kitchen. Of course, we're in the living room, and remember, this house comes completely furnished. Have a little office space, and of course, we have 3 bedrooms. And this picture here, while not the greatest picture, they're attempting to show you that this is how close the house is to the beach. If you had to guess what you would have to pay for this beachfront home fully furnished on the beach, what would you think it would go for? Many places like this are easily $250,000 and above. However, you might be shocked to find that they only are asking $110,000 for this. So the first one that pulls out his checkbook can get this gem. Let's take a look at another great spot. Now this next spot is the one I told you I would love to have if I hadn't already planned on going somewhere else. But take a look at this beautiful waterfall cabin with a view. It's only 15 minutes to the Minakau Beach, where you can enjoy wonderful surfing and just the beach life. It is a 1-bedroom, 1-bath cabin. It's only 538 square feet, but it's on 4 acres. Imagine what you can do here. Imagine laying on that hammock just enjoying the cool mountain breeze. Now check out this waterfall. I simply love a property with running water. And it looks like there's plenty of room if you wanted to do your own farming and be self-sufficient. This is a phenomenal place. And what's more is they're only asking $149,000. I would jump on this in a heartbeat if I didn't already have dibs on another place. Okay, we've only looked at one comparison, and I had wanted to show you properties located only steps away from the beach, homes in gated communities, condos on the beach, a couple of fire sales, and motivated sellers, along with some really interesting properties in Costa Rica. If you would like us to show you more comparison videos like this, giving you an idea of what kinds of great deals you can find in Costa Rica, please let us know in the comment section below. Make sure to download the free PDF, and if you haven't done so already, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of our next video. Until then, hopefully we'll see you in our next video, which will begin premiering on Sundays at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.